Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you. I went up to use the bathroom and I got beat up 12 times on Fuel Island. Yeah, 6 going that way, 6 coming back, because that's how many fuel pumps there are. And it hurt my pride a little bit, but yeah, I got beat up real good. And I don't know how I'll ever recover, but that's okay. I'm in the truck now, I'm safe, and it's warm in here. And nothing can stop me now. So we're just getting ready to roll for the morning. Fellas, what do we got? 350 miles. Still, well, I didn't really have trouble sleeping last night as much as I was up too late talking on the phone. So slept in a little bit this morning. It's about 6 a.m. I meant to be out of here by about 5. So, I mean, we're not too far off. No big deal, but I still haven't seen... Here's kind of what's screwing me. Like, if I've got, like, deadlines to follow and things to get done, then like I'm always up on time and ready to go. But I have not seen a load come through, so I'm like, I can just sleep more. Because you know how your sleepy brain works, right? When the alarm goes off, you're like, there's no rush to be up, and you hit the snooze button over and over, or you just straight up turn the alarm off. And that's kind of the predicament I'm in right now, because I just don't have any kind of direction. I don't know what the next load is. That's okay, no big deal. I kind of needed to take this week easy anyways, because next week I'm going home, and I didn't want to be in a position where I wasn't going to have hours to keep working until next Friday. So being able to recap all next week is going to be a good thing for me. So really not a big deal, but I just haven't seen anything. I don't know what's going on. So I guess we'll find out later today, but that's really it for now. Just getting woke up. And Fuel Island is a dangerous place. Gangsters everywhere, just gangsters everywhere, as far as the eye can see. So you gotta be really careful out there. It's very, very dangerous, and I don't think I'll ever recover. Anyways, got my morning cappuccino, got my iced tea for later in the day, and a bag of jalapeno chips sitting over there on the seat, which doesn't sound like a very great breakfast, but I normally don't eat breakfast anyways. Do you guys do that? Do you guys eat breakfast? Like, I just, the idea of eating in the morning just is gross to me. It's very, very rare that I eat anything in the morning, because it just seems, my stomach always is like, don't put food in me early in the morning, please. Just don't do that. So I'll probably get into those jalapeno chips here in a few hours. Look how goddamn great I'm going. Good Lord, good Nord, whatever that means. All right, anyways, guys, I'm gonna get ready to get on out of here and whip through Wyoming real quick and see what they got for me. So I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. Today I heard the greatest story ever told. And I'm going to tell you guys the greatest story ever told, because it would be a dick move if I didn't. And such an amazing story should be spread throughout the world so everybody knows. But first, let me get this AC cranking in here, because it is hot, boy. It is hot. So, we got us a load. How about it? Yeah. We're heading down to Dallas for a tomorrow delivery. Got to make the week about 3,500 miles. We've done it again, folks. We're not out the woods yet, but hey, we might have done it again, folks. We'll see how it all goes. We got to get there and get loaded. Refrigerated load, so hell, I could sit there all night, and then what? But what I like about the E-Log here is it splits the sleeper all by itself with no thought from me put into it. So if they make me sit for a while and it splits, hell yeah, there we go. So anyways, the greatest story ever told. You guys have to hear it. You have to hear it, because I had to hear it, and it was told with a perfectly straight face, so you know it has to be true. And the story was back in my day, in the 80s, when I was learning to drive truck. I drove for Schneider. Now, I'm not going to do the whole story in that goofy accent, but apparently our main character drove for Schneider way back in the 80s. And Schneider apparently had the greatest training program. I don't know. I didn't drive in the 80s. That very well could be true. I don't know what's up with Schneider now. I have no idea. Their trucks are goofy. Orange. Orange, not a good look. I don't know. Are they still doing orange? I'm not really sure. Anyways, back in the 80s when he drove for Schneider, And he was being trained. He was really struggling with backing, as we all do when we're just learning. So far, story checks out. Schneider was around then, and he struggled with backing as a new truck driver. And he was taught by his trainer that it's all in your setup. It's all in your setup. When you get that setup right, you're gonna hit that hole every time. Well, damn, this is a legit story. He's right. He's absolutely right. But when he got his backing down and he got it all figured out and he felt like he was really proficient at backing, that's when his trainer brought out the big guns and said, now you're gonna really learn how to back, boy. Now you're really gonna learn how to back. And he started blindfolding him. Yeah, he'd set up his truck ready for the back, and his trainer would blindfold him. Sounds very kinky to me. I like where this story's going, but it doesn't go where you think it did. He had to hit that hole blindfolded. Oh yeah, and when he got good enough to hit any hole in this country blindfolded, that's when Schneider finally set him out on his own. Apparently as part of their apparently a blindfold while backing was part of their official training. Come on now. That's not true. That's not what happened. Sight is the biggest sense that you use when backing. You can roll down a window. You could use sound. But you know what I wouldn't recommend doing is backing a truck by touch. Oh, there's something there. Come on now. You don't want to do it that way. So, anyways, so it wasn't until he could hit any dock in America blindfolded that he was finally released by Schneider to go drive, Schneider to go drive a truck all on his own. And now when he sees a guy backing and he doesn't do the setup the way he does it, he gets out of his truck and he says, I don't know why they get so mad at me. I'm not trying to, how did he say it? Like talk down on them. I'm trying to teach. And there's 10-year veterans out here, 20-year veterans out here that yell at me, tell me get back in my fucking truck because they've backed plenty of times before. But I stand out there and tell them, you need to set up again. You need to go around it and do it again because I know you've backed up thousands of times, but today you're going to do it my way, the right way. What a goofy story. What a goofy ass story. Like, look, I understand there's so much of it that's accurate, and that's how stories work, right? Make sure you put in some points in it that are accurate. That way, nobody catches on, I guess, to the parts you're lying about. I'm not really sure. Schneider did exist. We all struggle with backing when we start. It's kind of a whole new thing. No wonder everybody was wrecking their trucks in the 80s. If that was the official training, it is no wonder that there were so many truck accidents in the 80s. Because you know, you guys, you 80s drivers were out there with the blindfold around your face going 90 down the fucking interstate. Well, if I can back with the blindfold on, I can damn sure go forward. It's just statistics, really. The accident rate before the 2000s involving semis was much higher. You know, before we started introducing all these wacky safety features like governing trucks, CLDs, cameras, blind spot monitoring, and the most important, the safety vest. The safety vest is what changed the game. Got to be honest with you. Anyways, I better get over to my pickup, guys, so I can wait in line. I should be there around 12:30, 1 o'clock, and hopefully I sit there long enough that we can split the sleeper, or it's gonna be very slim chance that I make my delivery tomorrow. We'll see how she goes. Bye now. What's up, guys? How you doing? Oh boy, I made it to my pickup. I've been here almost 2 hours, but they don't open for another let's see, hour and a half. They don't even open, and my appointment's not for another 2.5 hours, so we're logging that sleeper berth so we can split it. Yeah, you guys thought I didn't actually know. I just don't like doing it. So yeah, I just don't really care to do it, but that's the only way this whole appointment's going to work. And it's one of those things, like, it's a little bit frustrating, but whatever, it is how it is. Like, I would have ran a lot harder coming back to Denver if I would have had some sort of pre-plan, some idea of what was going on, or I would have completely changed my schedule or did something to make this easier. But hey, that's just the way it is. After I finish recording this, I'm just gonna take a nap. Old man needs a nap. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. We're all inclusive here. So anyways, yeah, that's kind of whatever. I'm getting a little bit tired, and it's about time for a nap anyways, and it's rainy. Oh, that's the best time to take a nap. Hear the rain hitting the top of the truck? Yes, absolutely. You betcha, you betcha. So we've had kind of a wild day. Got beat up on Fuel Island 12 times this morning. I'm recovering. My ego is still bruised, but the rest of me, I have healed up very well from all that. And then we heard a fantastic story about backing. Yay! So much fun. So anyways, guys, I guess what I want to talk about today is because of that kind of old school stuff that came up with trucking in the 80s and all that stuff. There is, I don't know that it's a huge situation in trucking. It's probably being made out to be a thing that doesn't really matter, but turned into a big deal. And that thing is trucker culture. What exactly is trucker culture? If I'm being honest with you, I don't really know, because culture, I should have looked up the word a little bit more. Like, I know what the word culture means, but maybe I should have dove deep into it and been like, what exactly does this word encompass, right? But when you think of culture, you think about people with the like same ideas, same clothing style, same holidays, same music that they like, same religion, you know, things like that. Culture, right? And there is this thing about sometimes people get very angry and say, whatever happened to trucking culture and where did it go and all that stuff, and they get very frustrated about it. And to me, it's kind of an odd thing, because, well, I've always been the odd man out here. Why? Well, because I'm weird, and I've always chosen to sort of formulate my own opinions on things. I know, it's crazy. I'm such a weird guy. I always have valued looking at situations and deciding how I really feel about them and what I really think about them. Whether I'm right or wrong, I do like to at least, you know, get the old noodle going every once in a while. Think about things, you know. I know that sounds strange, but yeah, there is, it's not like a big deal. It's just something I heard come up in this conversation about backing and all this stuff. And when he mentioned the guys that haven't been driving, you know, 30 years like him, or however many years, you're 80s, you're getting closer to 40 years at that point. How they're the damn problem with trucking culture, and how they've ruined all of trucking culture and all these things. And I don't believe that to be true. For one, I think that's a very narrow-minded thought process, is that to be a trucker, you have to participate in a certain culture. That would be super weird if anyone thought that. But what I think really happened is what happened to everything out there, and that is the change in technology. Yeah, can we all at least acknowledge, at least for a little bit, acknowledge that technology is changing the world around us, and the things that used to exist in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even the early 2000s, they're gone. They're long gone. And that's just kind of the way things work. I hope that as I get older, I don't turn into the old man that is just grumpy about the way the world used to be. Because I look back, I don't look back with a whole lot of fondness about the way the world used to be, if I'm being really honest with you. It's kind of weird, because I grew up in that time where it was a completely different world, and we would be completely lost now, but we survived that world, you know, where we weren't connected all the time, right? I remember I grew up on a farm that, if I'm remembering this right, had what they called a party line phone, right? You had a phone, but the whole goddamn road, old country, county road, whatever the hell it was called, all had the same damn phone number. So you call the phone number, it rings in every house. You just hope the right person answers, right? And we definitely didn't have the connectivity that we have today. But I think that is exactly what's responsible for what happened to the culture of anything. You know, you could look at this at jobs, right? People have their friends and their family, and they have their jobs, right? Unless you're a trucker, in most cases, you spend the majority of your life with the people that you work with. You're there 40 hours a week, and then you got to sleep, and then you got stuff to do at home. So by the time you tally up the week, you've spent way more time interacting with the people you work with, right? And that's where sort of these work cultures are born, you know? And that's still, for people with like 40-hour-a-week jobs, that probably still holds true. You go to work, and that's about all you got time for because you're tired, and that makes sense to me. But now with this connected world, the people you know aren't just the people that you work with. This also applies to trucking, but you still have your friend group outside of work, and maybe your friend group has a certain culture. I don't really know. I don't know your friends. You could introduce me to your friends. I could always use some more friends, so I don't know. But as far as work culture and job culture and things like that, I think that it's just a thing of the past. A lot of younger people, I think, are making a very good decision in making a boundary between, I do have to work, I have to do that, but then when that's done, I go and I live my own life. Whereas it used to be not that long ago, work was people's lives. They left work and that's all they did was talk about work. They hung out with people from work, and all they did was sit around and talk about work, and then work. And the younger generations, I think my generation included, but more so for the younger ones, they're just saying, hey, like, I have a job, right? I have to have a job. I have to feed myself. But outside of that, I don't want to say a single fucking word about my job. I don't give a fuck about my job. I give a fuck about eating and having a place to live. And let's be honest, the world has changed in that sense, and that jobs aren't really taking care of people anymore, you know? That's where I have trouble, because sometimes I'd like a normal job. It's kind of nice to, you know, commute to the office and sit around and bullshit with people all day. It's a nice break from being a trucker, right? But forgot what I was saying. I'm getting old. Let me try to think back on that for a minute. I wish I could rewind this like you guys can, and think about what I was just saying. But the point I'm trying to make is a lot of young people are just drawing the line and saying, work's work, and that's completely separate from the rest of my life. And that is getting rid of the culture of everything. You know, you're not a welder and all you do is hang out with a bunch of welders, or a plumber hanging out with plumbers, or you get the point, right? And to me, the whole idea that to exist as a trucker or whatever job you have to have the same mindset of everyone else doing it, right? I mean, there's been plenty of truckers before me, but I've always been willing to speak about who I am as a person and the things I enjoy. And a lot of that doesn't line up with what you would call stereotypical trucker culture at all. You know, I mean, I like me some George Strait. Does that count? I think that might count. I'm not really sure. But politically, I don't fall in line. Religiously, I don't fall in line. And I'm sure that there's a long, long list of all the things where I've kind of bucked that culture a long time ago. But what I don't understand is why anyone fucking cares, right? Because as truckers, we do spend so much of our time just by ourselves. What are we trying to impress everyone else for? What are we like, oh, I hope this guy likes my cowboy boots when I get out of my truck. I hope he really likes these Wranglers I just bought, because they're really, I hope someone compliments me and tells me they make my butt look good. I don't really know. I'm not really sure why anyone cares about the trucking culture, and why anybody feels the need to continue it on like it's an actual thing, because it's really not a thing. And that, I mean, you're all allowed to feel how you want about these things. I'm not here to change your mind. You feel how you want. But it's just gone. It's just gone. And I think that's okay. You know, because this is an industry that diversity makes it interesting, right? If not, then we'd all be a bunch of, you know, straight white males out here, and that gets kind of boring, doesn't it? Like, I mean, wouldn't you want to encourage the ladies to get into trucking, come hang out with us, you know, at the truck stop bar? Wouldn't you want to encourage that? Well, you know, it'd be fun. You know, it'd be a lot of fun, and I'm sure they exist, but the, like, flamboyantly gay truck driver, that would be such a fun person to hang out with. You go out to the bar with them, man, you're gonna have a good time. That would be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. That would be enjoyable. But I think it's really cool. You know, you start to see a lot of different walks of life out here, and it's probably been that way for a while. It's just, you know, as people get older, they bitch about stuff more, and you're starting to hear more and more bitching about how the days used to be and all that. Whatever the hell is going on, I don't really give a fuck about. But I just don't know what we're holding on to. You know, what is it that we're holding on to? I mean, I guess for me, my thought process on all of it is it's just time to accept that that's what's happening and that's what's going to happen. And truck drivers are going to be much more likely to sit in their truck and FaceTime with somebody they like, you know, family, friend, something like that, than go out to the truck stop bar, you know. They're going to be more likely to not put themselves in any kind of trucker culture, because you're starting to hear it a lot more amongst the young truckers. Gold Phoenix, give you a little shout out again, but I got to be honest with you. I like what you're saying, but I've been saying it for years. And that thing I've been saying for years is trucking's my job, and I'm an over-the-road truck driver. So to a point, it is my lifestyle. But is it my identity? Well, I don't think so. I don't think it is. Now, I do put together these videos about my day-to-day life as trucking. I also drive the truck. So it's a huge, huge part of what I do. But is it who I am? Is trucking who I am? You know, fuck, I really start to wonder about that. I really start to wonder about that, because without a truck, I start to feel real lost. I start to feel real lost in life without a truck. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. But it is okay to be a truck driver. It's definitely okay to be an over-the-road truck driver and live the lifestyle. But to have to participate in like every silly ritual, or like the same things everybody else likes, or the list goes on and on, what have you, it's not a requirement. It's really not a requirement. I don't know why we have discussions like this, but maybe someone can help me out with that. Maybe what's your opinion? That's how we'll end the video. What is your thought process? And it's not like, I'm not saying old is like a derogatory term. People get older. We all know that, right? We're all on the same page with that? But what is it about older generations, not even just truckers, that you see so much this like trying to hold on to days that are long gone? And is it fear? Like, are they worried that they're not understanding the new world? Because that makes sense to me. It really does. Is it are they really genuinely trying to keep things the way they used to be because they feel like it was better? I just don't see it. You know, I was born in the early 80s, and I don't look back on those days like fondly, really, to be honest with you. Every car was a rust bucket. The radios barely worked, you know, your AM, FM radio that you couldn't get reception on. You had to put fucking tinfoil on your bunny ears, and so you could watch the football game. You only got one football game, you know, and everything was really inconvenient, if I'm being honest with you. Now, that doesn't fix everything, because we have our corporate technology overlords now, and that don't feel good either. But fuck it. The way I feel about it, I got to be at least half dead by now anyway, so I'm just along for the ride. You youngsters take over. I'm just out here trying to make a few bucks before I kick the bucket, as they say. But it does me no good to hold on to things of the past. Absolutely no good at all, because shit, I'm on my way out. I'm on my way out. I am over the hill, as they say. We have crested over the hill, and we are just riding it out now. So youngsters, don't forget about me when when you get older, when I get older, and I'm just too out of shape to drive this truck. Remember, I supported you. Anyways, I think that's all I got for you guys right now. I'm gonna go ahead and get this video put together, get it out, and take me a little nap while I wait. So talk to you soon.